All right, kids, this is your second instructional video for today. I am sorry that I am not speaking very loudly right now, but like I said, my voice is going out. I can feel it starting to happen. So let's go ahead and quickly chat about your personality test reflection assignment. So I will click here on August 14th. So currently, you have this first assignment that we already talked about, your discussion on classroom norms. And then after you finish that, you will go ahead and move on to your assignment called personality test reflection. So, if you have already had me as a teacher, you will have already done an assignment very similar to this one, and you have, already taken your Myers-Briggs personality test, which is completely fine because it is good to, take some time to look back on the personality test results that you received the first time and see, if anything has changed. See if, maybe you have different traits that you're exemplifying now at this point in your life. So even if you have already completed one of these before, I do want you to take your test again. It is very short and it will not take you very long. So just go ahead and do it. So for the sake of this assignment, okay? So I've provided two places for you to access the test itself. So the first thing you're going to want to do is click here on this link. If something happens and this link doesn't work for some reason, you can also click on this link right here. They will both work for you. So I'm going to use this one right here, and I'll just show you guys what this should look like when you click on it. So you'll be taken to this website called 16 Personalities, and you'll see all these tabs up here, but all you're going to do is scroll down and you'll begin taking this test. So they, give you some things to think about before you take the test. Well, first of all, they tell you that it's quick and it is not difficult. So it should take you less than 12 minutes to do. They also tell you that you need to be yourself. So even if you have to provide an answer that may not be socially acceptable, or it's something that you don't think other people would like hearing about you, don't worry about that. This test is about your honest answers. And then last, they want you to complete everything and also try not to leave any neutral answers. So typically with these questions, you can go one way or another, even if you're not jumping all the way over here, giving them a little bit of insight as to how you feel about this statement will help a lot. Okay. So these are just some examples of the questions that you'll see. These are actually the exact questions, or not even questions, sorry, they're statements. These are the statements that you guys will see. So obviously, you can tell that they're measuring different aspects of your personality, extroverted versus introverted, intuitive, how much you rely on your feelings and all that good stuff. So that is what it will look like when you click on that link. Once you are done taking your test, you should see a page that is somewhat similar to this one. So this is my personality test results page. And if it doesn't look exactly like this one, it's fine. But you will see some information up here at the top. Okay. So this is going to be very important for filling out that form because it's one of the first things that you're going to do. So let's go ahead and go back to the form and I'll show you the steps you need to take after you get your results. So you will provide your email address first. So your school Gmail address, just so I can collect the responses. And then you're going to tell me your name. So both your first and last name, please. So that way I know who you are. Because sometimes you guys put in first names and I have, 10 Sarahs in a class and I don't know which one it is. So please put your last name. And then at this point, you'll have already taken the test. So don't worry about that. But the next thing you're going to do is type in your 5-letter personality code. So let's go ahead and check that out. So I am an ENFJ-A. Okay. And then it says, what's the difference here? So this is kind of interesting to see what's the difference. Assertive protagonist versus turbulent protagonist. So there's a difference in terms of your sense of self, and just a lot of information here that I'm not going to go over, but there is a difference apparently between assertive and turbulent personality types. So, anyway, that is my 5 letter code. And then it's also going to ask for the nickname that you have for your personality. And that is, for me, the protagonist. And you can see up here that these are the different types of personalities, and they all have a different nickname associated with them. So you will simply type that into your form as well. So let's go back and check out the next task. Next, you will go through your results page and you will read. You will click the button that says Start Reading to read the introduction to your personality type. So, like I said, I believe that your results screen will look different than this one. It'll probably just pop up with something big, but you'll see a button that says Start Reading, and that's where you want to go to learn more about your personality type. So, you'll start reading, you'll read the introduction, and then you need to summarize what you learned right here. So, here is my introduction to my personality type. It says protagonists are natural born leaders, lots of passion and charisma. And my personality type makes up about 2% of the population. So they're coaches, teachers, politicians, all of these things. So, believers and people. And, all these things sound super great, but they also tell you some of the things that are not so great about my personality type. So, it says we have a tremendous, oh, sorry. Whoop. We have a tremendous capacity for reflecting on and analyzing our feelings, but if we get too caught up in another person's issues, we can develop a sort of emotional hypochondria, seeing other people's problems and ourselves. So, yeah, those are some of the negative things. Anyway, you're just going to read this introduction, excuse me, and then you will type a summary of what you learn. From there, you will just give your first impression of all of this information. Do you think that it's accurate? Does this sound like you? Why or why not? Please explain. And then also on the same introduction page, you will see celebrities and characters that also have the same personality type as you. So let's check out my people. So we've got Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, John Cusack, Ben Affleck, obviously like big personality people, Malala, Sean Connery, Jennifer Lawrence. And then you start getting into characters. So Morpheus from The Matrix, Elizabeth Bennet, um, Skylar White from Breaking Bad, which makes she's one of my least favorite characters, so that's kind of sad. But anyway, there's just a bunch of different people on here, so you're just going to list a few that you find interesting, um, and then after you've done that, you will move along to strengths and weaknesses. So let's check out what that looks like. I'm going to scroll back up here, and that will be on the left hand side, right under the introduction. So, as I said before, personalities have good things and then there are bad things. So up here you'll see the strengths, and weaknesses aren't necessarily bad things. I don't want to phrase it like that. They're just things that we can work on, right? So I am too sensitive, too selfless, maybe overly idealistic at times, but some of the positive things are that I'm reliable, I'm a tolerant person, I believe in people and I want to see the good in people, and I'm also a leader, so that's awesome. So I would look at all that stuff, and I would go back to the form and record 2 strengths that are most applicable, and explain how I would use them to be successful in class. And then I would record 2 weaknesses, and the 2 weaknesses that I find most applicable or most relatable. And then I would explain how I'm going to improve upon those weaknesses. Once I've completed that section, I will move along to friendships. So let's check out friendships. That will be directly under romantic relationships. So I'll click on that. And then this page just simply talks about how you relate to people, how your relationships usually go, what type of friend you are. So we'll go back to that form and you'll explain what it says and how this might affect your ability to work with other people, because the way that you handle your friendships says a lot about you and how you interact with others. Once you have completed that, you will go to career paths, which is under parenthood. You'll click on career paths and, excuse me, this is not a set in stone thing. If you see a career path on here um, that you're like, what? That does not match me at all. And that's fine. You may also see one that, you want to go into that is not on here. I'm sorry, you may want to go down a certain career path that is not listed here. And that's also fine. These are mostly suggestions just based on the answers that you provided. Okay. So you'll go back to the form after that and you'll explain what it says. Maybe what types of jobs does it say you should aspire to have? And then how well does it represent you? Does it represent you at all? Okay. And then we'll go back here and we'll click on workplace habits. And it just talks about how you work, what kind of coworker you are, what kind of manager you would be, and all of that good stuff. How are you working underneath people? How are you managing people? All that interesting information. So I would go here and explain how my personality type approaches work and others in the workplace, and then explain how this might impact how you work in groups and how you complete assignments at school. All right. So next, what you will do is you will go to conclusion and you're going to read through this conclusion and just see how it wraps everything up. Um, it will kind of tie up some loose ends here. And you'll go back to that form and then reflect on what you have learned from this personality test and how do you think that it will help you not only in class, but also in your life. And once you are done typing all of this wonderful information, you will simply hit submit right here and I will receive your assignment. So that is all that you have to do. You do not have to submit the assignment or press that button that's usually up here. I think that I have disabled the button for this assignment, so hopefully you won't even see it. Um, sorry, whew, voice is going on, y'all. Um, so hopefully that will not confuse you at all. Just remember also that this form scrolls. Not only does it scroll on the page, but you have to scroll within the form to get to the bottom of the form itself. So just keep that in mind as you're taking, as not taking a test, but as you're filling out this information. Okay. But yeah, that is all that I have for you on this assignment. I think it's so interesting. Human behavior is one of the most interesting things in the world to me. And this is also going to help me get to know you better. It's interesting. I actually had a college class where we were put into groups all semester based on our personality types, these personality types right here. And we were all different personalities. None of us had the same one. And we actually worked really well together for that reason. I think because there weren't too many similarities. And the differences were small enough to where we were all able to get along and work well together. So, this is just something very interesting to know about yourself. And also, a lot of jobs, a lot of places that you work have you take a test like this anyway. So, you might as well get used to taking them. But that is all that I have for you guys. I'm going to go before completely lose my voice. And please let me know if you have questions. And I'll talk to you guys later on.